Okay, now we're starting with 24mm T2.1 wide open at 24 frames per second, 1/50th of a second. This is 10-bit ProRes 422. So, right here we're looking at my brother, good looking guy. We're going to rack back to the garage door, and then we're going to rack back to infinity. And we're going to pull it back up to the garage door. And then we're going to pull it back up to my brother. And then we're going to pull it all the way forward to look at that bokeh. We got some Christmas lights set up back there to get a look at that bokeh. That's a Fresnel on a 200 watt bicolor LED behind him to give him that warm rim light. We've got screen left on his right, a 100 watt LED in a 3-foot parabolic softbox, which is his key light. He's got that negative fill on the side of him, and there's a 100 watt LED shooting through some blue gels onto the back of the garage door there to add that color contrast. Now we're rack focused back to him, and time to take a look at flare. So got the flashlight focused down to a pretty good point. It's one that you can change the width of. So we've got it, pre-spotted, and you can see some nice like eyelash kind of flaring and rainbow colors. Very, it's almost vintage. It's got a very vintage feel. I love it, but surprisingly controlled for pointing it right down the barrel like that. Now we're going to stop it down all the way down to T22. You can see those bokeh balls stay round the entire time because there's 11 aperture blades giving us that star pattern on that Fresnel lens with 22 star blades on it or whatever, because we have 11 aperture blades. It'll always be twice as many. And we pull it back all the way wide open, and that's 24mm. Next up, 50 T2.1 at 24 frames per second, again 1/50th of a second, 10-bit ProRes 422. We're starting on my brother, and here we go. La 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 la. There we go. Taking it back to the garage door, and then we're going to take it back to infinity. Pull it back to the garage door. There it is. And come on back to the model now. Come on back. There he is. This is a very, very long focus throw. 330 degrees. It goes almost all the way around. I'm using a manual follow focus, and even using that, it takes a few cranks to get it all the way around. And you can see I don't have the best sturdiest tripod set up here, so we do get some shake as I'm racking focus sometimes. Now this flare, we get a little more veiling, little, the contrast lifts overall, but it doesn't look bad. We got a nice blue orb, couple of orbs floating about there. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice halation coming off that Fresnel in the top right there of the screen. You'll see just that glowing orange. Here we go, stopping down. Bokeh balls stay nice and round. Beautiful. Bringing it back. Open it all the way back up. Stay nice and smooth. Bokeh all the way through. Love that. And that was the 50. Now we're at the 85 T2.1. I say that, it's got an asterisk there. This is the same settings as before, but you'll see, I'm gonna just play with the aperture ring just a little bit. Wait a second. Now I start playing with the aperture ring and you'll see a lot of that warm flaring cutting in and out there. The difference between that is just barely touching the aperture ring. I'm talking like probably T2.2, if anything. You'll notice the bokeh doesn't change shape. It's literally just tickling it. So, and I had to bring down the shadows when color grading this a little more than I did on the others. So it might actually be more like T2 or something, or maybe it's just you know, catching the light from that. It's definitely catching the light from that Fresnel in the background. But when I'm running this test here, I do have it stopped down just a hair from whatever wide open is. We'll call it T2.2. But I have a hunch that this one's just a hair brighter than the others. And just letting in that that little bit of flare too, which I will expose more in the flare test. It's beautiful bokeh, obviously. So here we go. I'm going to run the flare test one time. Now you see me opening and closing it again from T2.1 to T2.2. So we're going to run the flare test at T2.2 and then we'll open it to T2.1 and run it again. Doop-a-doop-doop-doop. Mostly just veiling. You see we get a little bit of a rainbow color in there. There's some more. There's a little bit of an orb and a, yeah, it's nice rainbow colors. I love that. All right, and now that was at the second half of that was at T2.1. The first half was at T2. Probably couldn't tell much difference. Open it all the way up. Drop it all the way down. Now you'll see the bokeh balls more exaggerated on this 85. You can see how round they stay all the way through. They do get a little bit of an edge, but with those 11 blades it stays pretty round. It's nice. And that's it.
Arr, matey.